Hey guys, so as you know, the M4 iPad Pro just started shipping and so did the Magic Keyboard and the new Apple Pencil Pro, so I went ahead and ordered the 11-inch model as well as the accessories. Now, if you've seen my post-Apple event video, you'll know that I wasn't overly impressed with the upgrades. I guess I expected a bit more, but with that said, there are a couple of cool new features I want to check out, and of course, I'm curious about this new Magic Keyboard and the new Apple Pencil and to see what they actually bring to the party. Let's ramble.
Hold up, place go wild when I pull up. They all on me like it wants them.
Alright, so let's do a quick unboxing, get some first impressions in, and then we'll check out some of the new features as well as having a closer look at the Magic Keyboard and the new Apple Pencil Pro. Now, I'm gonna be honest here, after all these years, and even though we know roughly what to expect inside, I still get pretty excited about a clean Apple unboxing. There's something about removing that wax paper to find a crispy new iPad, and I gotta say, I really am digging that space black. I went for the same color on my M3 MacBook Pro, and I love it there as well. Downside being that it will probably smudge just as bad as the MacBook Pro, but we'll see. The camera is finally on the correct side. I've been complaining about that awful camera angle since I started this channel, so I'm so glad to see it finally where it belongs. Most of us iPad Pro users will be using it inside the Magic Keyboard the majority of the time, so this new landscape position makes much more sense. Now, before we turn it on, let's check out the rest of the box, and there is no Apple sticker. Personally, I don't really care, I don't really use them, but I know some people do really like their Apple stickers and they will be disappointed. Another thing missing from the box is the charging brick. I'm not sure if this is a European thing, but yeah, over here, no brick. Now, the USB-C cable is braided, which is really nice. I just wish it was longer. I'll probably end up not using it since this one is way too short to charge the iPad while using it. But that's the good thing about USB-C. I have plenty of longer cables laying around the studio that will work just fine. Right, let's turn this bad boy on and aha, the Apple logo is in horizontal mode. I guess Apple is all in on the landscape orientation. Right, let's put this aside for the moment and unbox the Magic Keyboard so I can stick the iPad in there. It still feels pretty heavy, but that is necessary. It needs to have some weight to it to counterbalance the iPad, or it would simply tip over. I really wish they would ditch this smudgy material though. It stains like crazy, especially the black version. The hinge is different though. Looks like it's fully made out of aluminum this time. It looks nice and sleek, but I wonder how it will hold up over time. Seems like something that could scratch pretty easily. When you open it up, it looks the same-ish. Obviously, we have a function row now, which is really nice. I love being able to adjust the volume and the brightness that way, and we finally have an escape key. The microfiber material feels the same, and the smart connector pins are in the same position. But that does not mean this new iPad will fit your old Magic Keyboard. It won't. We will get back to that in a minute. The trackpad is a little bit bigger. Not a lot, the difference is more noticeable on the larger 13-inch model, but it's definitely a little bit bigger. What you will notice is that unlike the previous Magic Keyboard, the trackpad does not click unless the iPad is connected. This one works by means of haptic feedback, and for that to work, it will need to be powered by the iPad. I do really like the aluminum bottom. I just wish the entire Magic Keyboard would have been aluminum instead of this gross material. I really do like the matte black look of the camera bump. Especially inside the Magic Keyboard, it looks really clean. Alright, let's grab the new Apple Pencil Pro really quick so we can start setting everything up. It looks pretty much exactly the same as the old one. Let me just grab that really quick. Yeah, the only difference is the writing on the pencil. Same length, same feel, and the charging position is the same on top of the iPad in landscape mode. I'm really happy they managed to keep it there, by the way. I always assumed that Apple couldn't move the camera there because that's where the magnets are for the pencil, but I guess they figured out a way. I mean, the magnets definitely got moved around a bit. The old Apple Pencil doesn't snap onto the new Magic Keyboard quite as good as the new one. It will kind of stay on there, but not really, and it will not pair either. What I do notice straight away is that the angles are different on this Magic Keyboard. It feels like this one tilts back a lot further. I wonder if that's going to affect the balance when we use this thing on our laps. Now let's put it side by side to the 11-inch M2 and see the differences. It actually appears to be a bit smaller than the previous model, and that size difference seems to be mostly down to the hinge, which is noticeably smaller without the rubber flap around it. And the entire package is also quite a bit thinner. And I mean, that makes sense since the iPad itself is also a lot thinner than the M2 model. Why Apple chose to do that, I still don't really know. I'm not sure how many people actually asked for an even thinner iPad. I would have much rather had some extra battery life if that means keeping the thickness of the iPad the same, which wasn't very thick to begin with. On top of that, I'm wondering if this thing will end up bending. Remember Bendgate a few years ago? I heard that it has a spine down the middle for extra fortification. But anyway, let's leave the dismantling and brake test to jerry-rig everything. I'm not that rich. What I also noticed is that the gap between the iPad and the keyboard is much smaller. That might actually help with the balance. Maybe it won't tip over faster because it actually sits lower. Right, let's set this thing up really quick and have a look at the actual new features of the iPad, as well as the Magic Keyboard and of course this brand new Apple Pencil. But before we do that, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, ESR, who most of you will probably know for making pretty awesome alternatives to Apple's own accessories. I know a lot of people were quite disappointed that the new iPad doesn't fit the old Magic Keyboard, and I can totally understand people not wanting to spend hundreds of dollars again on an Apple Magic Keyboard. Same for the Apple Pencil. It's cool that there is a new one with all the extra features, but not everyone needs those, and if you're one of those people, ESR offers some great options. The Digital Pencil Pro charges via USB-C, so it does not depend on the iPad to charge, although it can also charge magnetically on the previous iPad Pro models. The high-quality 1.5mm nibs make for a smooth writing and drawing experience, and it's interchangeable with a few extra nibs included in the box. You do not need to pair this pencil, simply double tap the top of the pencil to turn it on and start using it. It comes in 3 colors, this white one, a silver one, and a pink version. Now, the Shift magnetic case is a great option if you like versatility and protection, and it all comes in an award-winning design. What's cool about this case is that it serves both as a stand, where you can use it in several different positions, which is super useful if you like to use an external keyboard, for instance, but it also offers a couple of angles specifically for writing and drawing, which will be useful for artists and those who like to take handwritten notes like me. And lastly, ESR offers these ultra tempered glass screen protectors to protect that beautiful iPad screen, the toughest tempered glass protector on the market, and it comes with a useful application tool for a bubble-free application. By the way, also keep an eye out for their paper feel magnetic screen protector, which is completely detachable. If you want to check these products out for yourself, there will be links in the description. So I went ahead and set up the iPad quick and smooth as always, simply transferred the settings from my old iPad, which took less than an hour. Now, I will say, this new OLED display looks phenomenal. They did an amazing job with this tandem OLED screen. Now, while the sustained brightness has been increased to 1000 nits and the peak brightness is still at 1600, I personally could do with a bit more brightness, especially for outside use, but I guess that would mean more battery drain. Apple did finally add battery health to the iPad, so you can check the state of your battery. And of course, it comes with new wallpapers to go along with this new iPad. Now, if you don't like those and you're looking for something different, I just dropped my new wallpaper pack specifically for this new iPad launch, so if you like them and you want to support the channel a bit at the same time, there's a link in the description where you can pick them up. Now, of course, Dub is only weeks away now, and we expect much more substantial changes to the iPad OS there. Now, hopefully this time there will be changes that actually let us utilize some of the power of these new iPads. Now, let's try this new Apple Pencil. Pairing is easy, as expected, it snaps on tight, and the iPad does the rest. And wow, this squeeze function is actually pretty cool, especially the bit of haptic feedback you get when you're squeezing it. It's really neat. This new barrel roll functionality is cool as well, and I look forward to seeing some cool ways in which developers will utilize this new functionality. But guys, let's be honest, the single most useful update for me is the fact that the pencil now comes with Find My. I tend to lose stuff pretty easily, and the pencil might be one of Apple's most losable items. So yeah, great stuff. Now, I do think that this pencil is actually the reason why this iPad does not fit the older Magic Keyboard. Clearly, some magnets have been moved around, which means it simply won't snap onto the old keyboard. And that kind of sucks, but what will fit your old Magic Keyboard is the new iPad Air. So if you're planning on picking one of those up, at least there's that. Now, let's check out the new camera position. I've been waiting for this for years. And we can test the mics while we're at it. Okay, so this is the front-facing camera of the iPad and the internal mics. The mics have always been pretty decent, but this is so much better than that weird side angle. Unfortunately, it's still only 1080p, and for some reason it doesn't give 24, only 30 frames a second or 60. But anyway, this is so much better. Right, so those are some of my first impressions. Now I will be able to really put this thing to the test because I'm flying to Poland tomorrow, where I'll be visiting my friend and fellow YouTuber Johannes, aka TechBHD, so definitely keep an eye out for that day in the life video very soon, alongside a few more in-depth reviews of this thing. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give one of these. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one.